for being with us this morning. We are going to be recording this session. Just wanted to give you all a little heads up about that. We're going to get started with introductions. We're going to start with our Director of Admissions. I'll hand it over to her.
Great. Thanks so much, Giselle. And I wanted to echo her very warm welcome to all of you. As Giselle mentioned, my name is Erica Yamasaki, and I have the privilege of being the Director of Admission here and working with all the folks that you will meet from our team today. But on behalf of the entire Mount community, some of whom you'll have the opportunity to meet today, I'm really so grateful and just so pleased that you have chosen to spend part of your morning with us today to get a preview of what the next step in your educational journeys could be. While we have been able to translate so much of what we do to the virtual realm, we know that there's nothing quite like being on our campus, and we all do hope that before too much more time passes, that we would actually physically be able to welcome you all to our Chelan campus. And on a day like today, it would just be absolutely stunning. I could guarantee you the view from our Hilltop campus would just be gorgeous today. And we could probably see the Pacific Ocean, a lot of LA. We could probably even see the mountains that are snow-capped today. So hopefully that's enough to entice you, to give you a visual picture of just the beauty of our campus, but truly the treasure of our campus, our students like yourselves. And so I hope that today, whatever your background is, whatever your goals are, I truly hope that each of you is considering Mount St. Mary's University for a transformative experience. We are the only women's university here in Los Angeles. We do enroll some men into our co-ed nursing programs, but at our core, we are still the institution that was founded by our Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a bit. But we are a community devoted to empowering women through education. And I think by your being here today, you are sharing with us your commitment to your education. And you are aspiring, I believe, by being here today to a transformative investment in your own lives. And we hope that as you invest in yourselves, this is going to transform your communities, whatever your community is, whether it be your family, your workplace, your neighborhood. You're going to be equipped to learn, to lead, and to serve through your Mount St. Mary's education. So thank you for being here with us today. It's a pleasure to see you, and I'm going to turn it over to further introductions.
Thank you so much for that, Erica. And I couldn't agree more. Again, good morning. My name is Giselle Martel Desardeneta. I'm the Associate Director for Nursing and Transfer Admission here at the Mount. I'm also an alum of the Mount, so I hold the Mount very close and dear to my heart. When Erica mentioned, this transformation and how this can, how this impacts your community and everyone around you. I am a total testament of that. The Mount has truly transformed me. I think back to when I started my journey as a student and where I am now. And I am here today, and I am here doing what I do now as a form of giving back, right? Someone did this for me once upon a time here at the Mount. And so it just felt right for me to do and be able to offer that same service back to anybody that really wants it. So I take great pride in what I do, and I look forward to getting to know you all a little bit more, and welcome again. I'm going to hand it over to the amazing transfer team who you all will be working really closely with. Patty?
Thank you, Giselle. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being with us this morning. My name is Patty Hernandez, and I'm one of the transfer admission counselors.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Evelyn Ramirez, and I'm also one of the transfer admission counselors here at the Mount.
Good morning. My name is Precious, and I'm also a transfer admission counselor. Thank you so much for being here with us today on your Saturday.
Jackie?
Yes, hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Director of International Student Services and Enrollment, so I handle international student admission. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. We're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation today. So welcome to our non-nursing transfer open house. Let's see. And so we'll begin with a little bit of the history of Mount St. Mary's, which began in Le Puy, France. So our story begins in 1655 in Le Puy, France, during a post-war era. The Sisters of St. Joseph were 6 ordinary women who devoted themselves to the needs of ordinary people, living among them and offering their lives in service to these dear neighbors without distinction. From Le Puy, the order grew, and they came to Los Angeles in the 1890s. The sisters continued their mission and were persistent to address the lack of women's education here in Los Angeles. The sisters' work continued to evolve in Los Angeles, and they went on to found MSMU in 1925. At the time of its founding, Mount St. Mary's was housed temporarily at St. Mary's Academy on Slauson and Crenshaw. 2 years later, in 1928, the sisters purchased 36 acres of land in the foothills of the Santa Monica Mountains, which is now home to our Chelan campus. And then it did expand to the Doheny campus in 1962. So a little bit more about Mount St. Mary's University. We are a small private Catholic liberal arts institution. And like I mentioned, we do have 2 campuses. However, we are one university with one mission. We have about 1,800 undergraduate students. The student to faculty ratio is 11:1, and our average class size is 15. So you do get that intimate connection with faculty and staff, as well as your classmates. And like previously mentioned, we are predominantly women's university, but males are admitted to our nursing program. And so these are pictures of our 2 campuses. Our Chelan campus is in Brentwood, and that's typically where our non-nursing transfer students continue their education. And our downtown Doheny campus is where our graduate and weekend and evening programs are housed. And like I mentioned, we are 2 campuses, but we do have one mission. And so I'll go ahead and read this. Mount St. Mary's University offers a dynamic learning experience in the liberal arts and sciences to a diverse student body. As a Catholic university, primarily for women, we are dedicated to providing a superior education enhanced by emphasis on building leadership skills and fostering a spirit to serve others. Our measure of success are graduates who are committed to using their knowledge and skills to better themselves, their environments, and the world.
So at Mount St. Mary's, we have over 40 clubs and organizations, and they vary between cultural organizations as well as professional organizations. For example, there's a club with an emphasis in business, if any of you are interested in business, and also service geared organizations which give back to the nearby community at the Mount. We also have 3 club sports, so soccer, volleyball, and running, that are led by excellent coaches here at the Mount. So if that's something that you all enjoy or are considering maybe trying out, keep a lookout for that. And we have a series of campus traditions, which are student panel or may share during the student panel. So keep a lookout for that, or feel free to ask our students about their experience in our different student engagement opportunities. At the Mount, Residence Life is available at both campuses. You can choose from different style rooms. So we have from singles to triples and quads. There's a set of meal plans that you pick depending on what you feel best fits for you. And these meal plans are available to current and commuter students. We also offer the MSMU shuttle. So as Patty mentioned earlier, we do have two campuses. Let's say our downtown LA campus is closer to you, and you're taking classes at Shalon, you can always leave your car at our downtown LA campus, take a shuttle up to Shalon and back. And as I mentioned, we do have services for commuters because we acknowledge that we have a large commuter population at the Mount. And we have a large variety of majors and minors. Highlighted in the slide are some of our more popular majors. So biological science, business administration, film and media, psychology, liberal studies, political science. And something that's important to note is that none of our majors or minors are impacted. So yeah.
So some transfer requirements in order to apply, we require a 2.4 transferable GPA in all transferable coursework, and then in addition to 24 transferable semester units. So a good rule of thumb is anything that typically would transfer over to a UC or a Cal State should typically transfer over to Mount St. Mary's. In addition, a lot of transfers don't know, but we do admit students into spring semester and fall semester. So if you're interested in applying, our priority deadline is March 15th for the fall semester. And then some of the pathways to explore, to applying and being admitted to Mount St. Mary's University is that we accept the completion of the IGETC and the CSU Breast. We do also accept our typical pathway, which is 24 transferable units, as well as a 2.4 transferable GPA. We accept ADTs. They might be known as an AAT or an AST at your community college. We do accept 8 of those, and I will go over them in the next slide. And then if you do have less than 24 units, typically your admission counselor will reach out and ask you to submit high school transcripts so they can be added to your application, and we can consider those as well. So the Mount accepts the following 8 associate degree for transfers towards MSMU degrees. So we accept an AST in Administration of Justice, an AAT in Psychology, an AST in Business Administration, an AAT in Sociology, an AAT in Journalism, an AST in Film, Television, and Electronic Media, an AST in Film, Television, and Electronic Media towards Film, Media, and Social Justice, and an AAT in English. This is something that you would work with your community college or the college that you're currently attending. And then at the time of you applying to the Mount, you would need to have earned this degree already or be in the process of completing this degree. And then you can go to the next slide.
Some of the,
I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead, Patty.
So some of the awards and scholarships that are offered to our transfer students include the Dean's Transfer Award in the amount of $11,000 per academic year. And this is something that is automatically added to your package once you are admitted. There are no other applications or anything that you have to fill out. So once you're admitted, you are guaranteed to receive that amount. We do offer a distance award for students who are coming out of state, and that's $5,000 per academic year. We offer a NOISE scholarships in the amount of $10,000 per academic year. And this is for any STEM students who are interested in teaching. So if you want more information about that, you can reach out to one of us and we can provide you with more information. And so we're no longer on the Common App. We have our own application. We've created our own and it's located on our website. So some of the things that, or some of the required documents are, you have to submit your official transcripts from all colleges attended, submit an application essay, submit an academic recommendation. There is a $50 application fee, and then you complete and sign the app for review. And the fall priority deadline is March 15th. For our spring one is November 1st. And then you would apply at msmu.edu.
We also have these great opportunities. They're called Athenian Applicant Days. Essentially, this is a chance for students to receive an admission decision on the spot. So you would typically sign up for a 30-minute appointment and you would do a 20-minute interview with an admission counselor. If you go through with this, you would get your application fee waived and your letter of recommendation waived. So all we ask is that before your interview, your application needs to be completed 48 hours in advance prior to the interview time, and that we need to have received your official college transcripts before your 48 hours before your interview as well, just so that there's time for evaluation. This is something that you can sign up on our transfer admission website. In addition, we have 2 dates in February 5th and 19th. There's still slots available. We also have 2 dates in March. But for example, if those dates don't work with your schedule, you're more than welcome to sign up on our appointment system where you schedule a 30-minute appointment with us. And you can communicate that to your admission counselor, and we'd be happy to help and conduct an Athenian Applicant Day that way as well.
So that's all we have for the presentation. Does anyone have any questions? You're welcome to ask them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask as well. So if there aren't any questions, the next part of this program includes a tour. And so the tour will be obviously virtual. You'll get to see our Shillong campus. So we want to give you a heads up to pay attention in the tour because we will have a raffle later on in which we'll ask some trivia questions about the tour. So keep an eye out and your ears open. And the tour will be conducted by 2 of our students, Evelyn and Natalie.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to introduce myself real quick. So my name is Evelyn. I am a 4th year here at Mount St. Mary's University. I am currently majoring in psychology, and I was commuting to the Mount before everything went remote. So if you have any questions about commuting, feel free to ask, or if you have any questions about living on the Mount, feel free to ask your questions and I'll try my best to answer them. And then we also have another student here, if she would like to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I'm a 3rd year business and marketing student. Before remote learning, I was a resident at Shillong.
Okay, so she can answer the questions for living on campus. Okay, so for our first stop here is actually our administration building. So our administration building consists of the student services that are offered at the Mount. So we have our registrar's office, we have our student accounts office, we have our welcome center for the admissions office. So this is the building you would have gone. If you had an in-person tour at our Shalom campus, you would have entered the welcome center for the admissions office. So all these offices in this building are there for students to go to if they need any help or questions regarding classes, paying for tuition, or um, financial aid or anything like that. So this is the go-to building for all students at our Shalom campus. And over here on the side, we actually have our library, and then we also have a shuttle stop right in front of the library. So as mentioned on the presentation right before the tour, we do have two campuses, our Shalom campus here in the Brentwood area, and then we have our Doheny campus by the downtown area. So the shuttle services do take students to and from each campus. Um, and over here we have our humanities building where you would most likely take most, if not all, of your classes. And we'll speak more about that as we go more into the tour. But our first stop here would be the circle. So, as mentioned, we do have a lot of school traditions and events that take place at Mount St. Mary's. So, the circle is where most of those events will take place. So, for example, we have campus traditions such as the lighting of the circle, where the circle is decorated, the trees are decorated with lights, the lampposts, the benches, and they put up a lot of Christmas decorations. And it's basically an event where students can go, hang out with their friends, enjoy the day, enjoy some snacks, for example, hot chocolate, churros, popcorn, and there are a lot of activities that students can take part in. And it's honestly one of my favorites because it's very festive and the environment is very calming. So it's another way for students to come and de-stress if they're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. We also have farmers markets that take place here twice a month where students can come and get fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, and all for free. So they don't have to pay anything for these services. So this is mainly the spot where all these events take place. And whenever there is an event, there are announcements that are sent out to the students beforehand to see if they want to participate. Um, I don't know, Natalie, do you want to include any other events?
No, just personally for the circle, I really enjoy, you see the tables and chairs there on like a nice sunny day. It's a great place to study and be outside. A lot of people, especially the commuters, they enjoy like hanging out there. So it's a great space and there's always like events happening. Like I remember for a good month, we had a rock climbing wall. So there's a lot of stuff going on usually.
There is. Um, so we'll go ahead and head to our next stop, which is our chapel. Oops. Okay, so we are a religious institution, as mentioned in the presentation, but we do not discriminate or we do not ignore other religions or backgrounds that students may come in as. So we accept all students of all backgrounds, of all religions. Um, but we do have this chapel here on campus for those who do want to explore the Catholic religion or they want to get more involved on campus. So in our chapel, we do have a couple of events that take place throughout the semester. We have um, Sunday masses in the evening for students that live on campus. We have special events that take place throughout the semester. So, for example, we have Ash Wednesday, we have Mass of the Holy Spirit. So, these are events that students can take part in. It is not required. We are not forced. Students are not forced to join these events. It is an option to join if you'd like to. And it's just there to see what it's like to be part of the Catholic community or the religious community on campus. And all these events are held by our campus ministry, where they host these events, and they also offer different opportunities for students, for example, volunteer opportunities or um, first confirmation, first communion and confirmation classes if students do want to take them. So you can always go to campus ministry if you want to get more involved on campus or with the religion on campus, or if you want to get involved with other organizations or clubs, you can always go um, and explore what your interests are, what you want to focus on. And as mentioned, we do have different clubs and organizations on campus. So you can always choose based on your interests, what you want to focus on, based on your culture, your interests, or anything in general. We do have a variety of clubs that students can get into once they're at Mount St. Mary's University. And then over here we have our Haven Park overlook. So we are on top of the mountain. So we have a lot of views and overlooks, just like this one around campus. This is just one example. And most of these overlooks are very popular for students on campus since they are able to take pictures, enjoy the view, relax. Here's our Haven Park overlook by the side of the chapel. We also have one down by in front of our humanities building and all over campus. So students can always just enjoy these overlooks. We also have one behind the chapel, right behind our fitness center, where our hiking trail is. So students can always go there and take a deep breath if they're feeling stressed or overwhelmed with studies, exams, or homework. They can always go to any of these overlooks and just relax, hang out with their friends, and enjoy the view. And then over here we have our study lounge. So our student lounge basically is the hit spot for students on campus. So the student lounge usually is crowded by students. They're usually doing homework, eating, working on any projects, or they're just lounging around to wait for their next class, or they're just here to pass the time, to just hang out. So students can come here. We have a variety of lounging areas. We have arcade games. We have consoles. We have a lot of options students can choose from to come and play with their friends, to hang out with their friends. We have a TV available as well. So students can always come to the student lounge, watch a movie, a show. And there's usually events that take place here as well where students can gather together and enjoy the evening together. They offer snacks, drinks, and we also have the front desk where you can go if you want to play any board games, or if they have any movies you'd like to watch. And we also have a commuter refrigerator there as well. So if students want to bring food on campus, we have a refrigerator there for our commuters, where they can keep their food fresh and not have to worry about carrying it around campus. Natalie, do you want to include anything else?
For both the study lounge, they have a study lounge every level of each residence, and for the gaming like room, it's a really nice place for commuters in both residences. It's open all the time. I personally really love the study lounge. When you're looking at the screen, that's our Brady residence. They have a really big study lounge filled with whiteboards and a bunch of chairs. So if you have like a big study group, it's really nice to be in there, and it never closes. Like I'll be there like till all hours of the night, and it's just like a really great space.
Are there any questions so far? No. Okay, so we'll go ahead and head to our next stop. And our next stop is the Shalong Cafeteria. So our cafe was just recently renovated, so there's a lot more open space for students to come in. We have this area by the entrance, and then we have this area. So we have a lot more open space for students to come and eat, do their homework, hang out with their friends. And we have more space over here on the side. So our cafe offers a variety of options for our students to choose from. So we have gluten-free options, we have vegetarian options, we have um, vegan options. So based on the students' preferences and their dietary needs, the cafe is welcome to serve based on their needs. So students are always able to choose different options from the cafeteria. We have a variety of sections that focus on healthy eating. So we really do encourage students to eat healthy here at Mount St. Mary's University. And for the cafe, we do have meal plans for both residents and commuters. Um, and I think Nanny can go more into the meal plans for residents, but in regards to commuters, we do have 4 different options for our meal plans, but it is not required for commuters to sign up for any meal plans. We can just come on campus, pay out of pocket if you're just going to eat on campus for that one day. So we do have a variety of options to choose from. And Natalie, if you want to talk more about meal plans for residents.
So for residents, there's 3 different options depending on how much you eat throughout the week. We do offer what we call flex funds, which is so if you have used up all your weekly amount for food, you do have like about, just depending on what plan you get, you can still buy food. The problem is it won't reload, and you have that until the end of the semester. What I also like to use for my flex funds is in the cafeteria, we do have a cafe, and you are able to purchase Starbucks coffee. They do offer that there, and other foods like on the go stuff. Like I really enjoyed the overnight oats with chocolate and strawberries. That was like one of my favorite things over there. And yeah, they do offer, I think my favorite meal at the cafeteria is breakfast, because they have they have oatmeal, they have an omelet station, you can make waffles, smoothies, and it's just my favorite.
Yeah, I think breakfast is my favorite too, especially the tater tots. Those are to die for. But are there any questions regarding the cafe, meal plans? I don't think so. Okay, so we'll go ahead and head to our next stop. So here we have a resident room. This is an example of a resident room on our Shalom campus. So we have 4 different residence halls, and each one has a variety of options where students can choose from based on their preferences, and the style of the room. So in this particular room, it is a double. So as you can see, we have 2 beds here. We have furniture, so all rooms come fully furnished for all students. All you have to worry about is bringing your necessities, your bedding, and there are desks here as well for students to use if they want to study. And for this room, it's actually a half restroom, so there's only a toilet. So for this room, they would have to share a communal shower with a few other rooms in the surrounding area or in the hallway. So it is based on the preferences that the student chooses from. We have private rooms, we have suite style rooms where they share a shower and a restroom with their neighboring room, or they have no shower or restroom and they have to use the communal restrooms as well. So it does range from those different options. So Natalie, do you want to explain what it's like living on campus?
Yeah, so I loved living on campus. For me, it wasn't really an option to be a commuter because I am from Northern California. But what I really loved about being on campus is that you are so close to everything. You're 1 minute away from our fitness center, you're 2 minutes away from the cafeteria, and then you are 3 minutes away from your classroom. And I think that's what I really loved, especially the atmosphere and just the camaraderie you gain being on campus with the other residents. My friends were had their own double, so that was really nice. Like being able to be with them, like whenever they would come into my room, whenever they wanted, or I'd bug them and go to their room and stay, and we'd all like study. And it's just really nice because we're all there to study and just to focus. So it's really nice being around everybody.
It's always fun to make friends with residents because then you can always visit their room. I had a friend before. Um, she would live on campus. She had a single, and I would constantly go to her room just to hang out there if I was waiting for my next class. And if like the cafe or the student lounge was crowded, I would go to her room with my other friend. We were both commuters, and she was a resident, and we always had fun there. Um, so it's always fun to make friends with residents on campus, and it's a different experience as well. And the school also offers services for our commuters who plan to commute to campus, such as the the shuttles. We have student commuter services that offer discounts for students. They offer, um, I forgot what it was called. Um, a meal fund, I believe, for students if they're not able to pay out of pocket or sign up for a meal plan. They offer $100 for our commuters to use each semester for only 2 semesters. And offer a lot of opportunities for our commuters to make it easier for them to commute to the Mount. So I think both commuters and residents have benefits here at Mount St. Mary's University. And it's also just based on the choice of the student whether or not they decide to live on campus. Are there any questions about living on campus or commuting? Okay, so we'll head to our next stop. Okay, so this is our library. So this is the entrance to our library. We would have entered the third floor here. So our library has a total of 4 floors. This is the third floor. And as you can see, we have a lot of desktops, computers. We have our books here. We have our circulation desk here where students can go to ask for help if they want to find a book or if they need help with research or anything in general. They can always go to the circulation desk here at the front. We also have more computers here on the side and more books. So students can just come to the library to get books, to do homework, or if they need to print anything out, we also offer printing services here on the side for students if they ever do need to print out their assignments, study guide, rubric, anything. Um, and our second floor is where students can find the media center, our computer lab, and a couple of study rooms. So the media center basically helps students if they're having trouble with, for example, connecting to the Wi-Fi at Shalon, or if they're having trouble with their student portal, or if they're just having issues with their computer or laptop, you can always go to the media center to ask them for help. And we also have a computer lab on the second floor where students can go. Um, if there are no computers here available, they can always just go to the second floor where there are a variety of other computers. So you have the third floor and the second floor for options if you plan to do your homework on the computers here at the library. And the study rooms you can go to if you plan on studying in groups or working on group projects and you need an isolated place to work on your project or to study. You can always use the study rooms on the second floor. And the first floor is where you can find the rest of the books. So we have more books here at our library. So besides the options here on the third floor, we have a lot more books on the first floor where you can go and search for any books you need specifically for your classes. And it's also the quiet area. I know that's weird saying it in the library, but it's the quiet area where you can go and study, and that's honestly one of my favorite places to go to. It's very quiet. You don't have to worry about noise. If you're like me and you need a very quiet place to study and read, and you get easily distracted with noise, the first floor is a great place to go to. Um, it's also a great place to sleep and take a nap. So, and the fourth floor is also a study area. So as you can see, we have 3 small cubicles here where students can go and study alone or in groups. They have that option as well if there's not enough room in the other floors. So yeah, Natalie, do you have anything to mention here or to
What
include?
I really love about the library is that they really have a space for any sort of need. So we were talking about the first floor where that's the quietest floor. That's not really where I go because I feel like I need some sort of noise. I feel like when I'm on the first floor and I'm walking, I feel super loud. So I don't really go down there, but I like the second floor because if I need a big computer, let's say I'm doing a digital art project, I really enjoy the iMac desktops versus my laptop being there. And I really enjoy the study rooms. My friends and I would go in there and we'd study for like our big projects or any like group projects that we had. The third floor, I really enjoy just to study there. And if I need help with looking for research for projects, the librarians are always there for help and using the printer whenever I need to. And but my favorite floor would be the fourth floor because I really enjoy like the big desk and keeping all have my books all laid out and whenever just I need a big space to kind of get stuff done.
Yeah, and the study rooms, I forgot to mention this. And the study rooms also come with like huge desks, they come with whiteboards, they come with a computer and a projector. So if you want to practice a presentation there, you can always um, use one of the study rooms to practice your project or your presentation. I did that once with my group and it was very helpful to have those resources there. Um, and you can just use the computers to play music if you're studying. I did that once with my group and it was fun. It was a great experience. So you really do experience a lot anywhere you go in any of these stops. So we'll go ahead and head to our next one. Okay, so here we have our Hannon Plaza. We have our Humanities building here as well. So as I mentioned before, the Humanities building is where you'll find most, if not all, of your classes that you'll be taking here at Mount St. Mary's University. So the classes are found on one side of the hallway, and then the offices for faculty are found on the opposite side. So you have your classes, and as mentioned before, we have really small class sizes here. Since we are a small university, our classes average from around 15 students for each class. And I believe it also depends on the program that you're in. Um, so the classes really do range in size. The smallest class I've had was 4 students. The largest was probably 20. So um, it also depends on the class that you're registered in and how many students registered for that class as well. So you really do get the opportunity to form that one-on-one connection with your professor, with your classmates and other students there. Um, and you really do make friends easily. Since we are a small university, we do come across a lot of the same students, especially if they're in the same program as you. And that's how I met one of my best friends. So there are a lot of great opportunities that come with having small class sizes. And in the humanities building, we also have other student services. So we have our health services here on the first floor. We have our community services. We have our student resource center that offers academic help for all students, whether they need tutoring, writing assistance, or anything else. We have those offices here in our humanities building as well. And we have our career services office here that offer career help if you need help with your resume, um, if you need help with a mock interview, if you have an interview coming up, they help you through those steps as well. Um, and over here, we actually have our parking. So this parking station over here is mainly focused for our commuters that do drive onto campus, but we do have separate parking for residents right behind the chapel. And one thing about parking on campus is first year students are not able to have a car on campus, but once you're in your second, third, fourth, you are able to bring a car on campus. Um, and since most students will be transferring, those who are transferring into Mount St. Mary's are able to have a car on campus, whether you live on campus or you plan to commute, you are able, you have a variety of options for parking here. Um, Natalie, do you have anything else to mention?
I don't think so. I think you covered it all.
Are there any questions about classes and parking? Okay. And I'll just mention the shuttle stop down here at Doheny campus. So this is the entrance to our Doheny campus. And as I mentioned earlier, there are shuttles that take students to and from each campus. So for those who plan to commute to the Shalon campus, if you do live closer to the Doheny campus, you can always just come to the Doheny campus and take the shuttle up to our Shalon campus. And as a commuter myself, I did that. I live a lot closer to our Doheny campus, so I took the shuttles up to our Shalon campus, and that's a great way to save on gas for our commuters. And for our residents, they're also able to use the shuttles um, to go to the expo line or to explore the LA area. So we do have a variety of options where students can use the shuttles to go around the LA area, to go to and from each campus, or if they need to go to the expo line to take the metro. We have these shuttle services available for all students for free. But that concludes the tour. Are there any final questions um, about any stops that we went through for our tour? Okay.
Thank you, Evelyn and Natalie, for that, for your insight on so much good information. So if there aren't any questions about the tour, we can move on to our financial aid information. LaRoyce Housley, the Director of Financial Aid, is here with us today, and she'll go over some good information that all of you should know. Welcome, LaRoyce. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I work in financial aid, and I'm going to share briefly just some important things you should know about the financial aid process and how to apply and what becomes of your application. So schools use the FAFSA, which is the free application for financial aid, to determine what aid federal aid you may be eligible for. Okay, as a transfer student, the university offers a merit award called the Dean's Transfer Award, which is not based on the FAFSA, okay? And so besides that though, to see what other aid you're eligible to receive, you must do the FAFSA application each year actually. Mount St. Mary's has a unique, as other schools do, Title IV code, and I'll give it to you. So as you're doing your FAFSA for 21, 22, if you're not already done so, you want to add our school to your FAFSA, which the Title IV code is 001243. That allows the government to give us your information so we can see what we are able to offer you besides the merit award. So the FAFSA, as I said, triggers schools to see what other aid they can give you. From the federal government, we're talking about the Federal Pell Grant, which is a free award from the federal government. Historically, the range is between $400 and currently like $6,300, a little above $6,300 for the year. As I said, it's for undergraduates. It's free, so you do want to apply for FAFSA just to see if you can get that. But also, you're applying for federal student loan eligibility. So the government also has federal student loans that are low in interest and that do not accrue interest while you're in school. So basically, they're interest free as long as you're in school. And the amount of the loans are based on your grade level. So that ranges from $3,500 if you're a freshman. If you're a sophomore, $4,500. If you're a junior or senior transferring in, that would be $5,500. Okay, so the FAFSA triggers that eligibility amount. There's also additional unsubsidized loan, which is not based on need, but everyone can get it. And that amount is a flat $2,000 each year. The FAFSA also lets us know what need-based funds Mount St. Mary's can give you. So we look at the FAFSA and your eligibility, and we see what we can give you besides your merit Dean's Transfer Award. And we determine that strictly from your FAFSA. And it ranges all over the place because it's custom to students' FAFSA situations. So you're applying for that as well with the FAFSA. You're also applying for work study possibilities, which is on-campus jobs. You're paid directly, so it doesn't go directly to your bill, although you can choose to have it go to your bill. That's something you're applying for the FAFSA. You're also, if you're a dependent student under the age of 23, and some other factors in that, but that's just a quick and short definition kind of it for you today. The FAFSA lets us know if the parent is able to take out, not able to take out, parent eligibility for a parent loan as well from the government. So the FAFSA really is the main ingredient, if you will, to the soup. Schools got to have that FAFSA to determine what they can give you from their own wallets. And that's a universal application, and it's free. It does require you to have an FSA user ID. So if you haven't done a FAFSA before, you want to go to the FAFSA website, ed.gov, and create a FSA user ID so you can actually have a FAFSA and complete a FAFSA. That's the bones of what we need. The purpose, just I'll say, of the FAFSA also, besides determining your aid eligibility, it also determines a family contribution. So from the number in the household that's reported, the income that's reported, other siblings that may be in school, college, university that's reported, the government looks at all those factors and determines on paper at least what you and your family can pay for college. And that's called an estimated family contribution. Schools also look at that in determining what they can give you. That is a factor as well. And basically, just so you understand the purpose of the FAFSA, financial aid is not necessarily all free money, but it's all resources available to you, whether it be free scholarships and grants, awards, monies that do not need to be repaid, or self-help monies, which would be student loans if applicable, work studies, self-help, because you have to work first to earn the earnings to help pay for school. And Parent Plus Loan is also a resource of self-help funds. So the purpose of the FAFSA is to determine the difference between what the family is able to pay per the FAFSA application and the cost of education at that particular school. The difference between the cost of attendance minus the contribution per the FAFSA is the gap, or that's the amount that needs to be covered with some type of financial aid resources. So that's the basic premise of what the FAFSA is for. As I shared, all schools use it. Besides monies from the government, the state of California also uses it to determine, along with your GPA, if you're eligible for Cal Grant from the state of California. And that's another free source of free resource that students use to pay for college. There's also outside scholarships for which you can apply. And here, uniquely or to the amount, whatever outside scholarships you bring in with you, we do not reduce the free money we have offered you. So it doesn't affect the monies that the university is giving you. So it would help to reduce your need for loans perhaps, or would help you not have to pay so much out of pocket. So I know one huge resource for seeking outside scholarship is FastWeb, FAST like Tom, WEB like boy.com. And basically that's a free resource where you can go and create your profile, demographic information, what your interests are, what you think you might want to major in. And as scholarships pertain to those interests, they're dumped into your mailbox. Okay, and it is hit and miss. You know, you have to dig through and see which things apply to you, but that is a free resource and it does yield results. Even if it's book money, things that we're not even going to bill you for, it's worth the effort. And so that's another resource that's available to be used. So the federal aid, the state aid, university aid, outside scholarships, and even summer employment or employment period if you're working. You want to be planning ahead for those kinds of things, because the aid that we offer you doesn't, pay for your books necessarily. The aid is applied to your bill. So you might even want to start working or, consider options for summer employment to help pay for your books and other supplies you may need. So those are the things you need to know about the financial aid process. I will encourage you though, once you submit your FAFSA to our office, and once we start communicating with you things we need to finalize your file, I do encourage you to turn those documents in. And what I'm referring to is some of you will have a process called verification that we're required to do in your file. And that means that what you've put on the FAFSA, we're required to verify its validity. And so we may be asking you for tax information, unless you use, and I should say this, the IRS data retrieval tool that's available on the FAFSA. And what that does is, in the income sections on the FAFSA, you may be queued to take advantage of the IRS data retrieval tool. And what that is, the IRS will import information from the 2019 tax year, which is what the FAFSA will ask for, right into your FAFSA. So we won't need to ask you to give us tax returns or tax transcripts. So I encourage you, if you didn't choose that option and you've done your FAFSA, go back in and if possible, elect to have the income information imported from the IRS into the FAFSA. That's a shortcut that will eliminate some time in us being able to offer you a final offer letter. We will be asking you for maybe some other dependent verification worksheets and other forms that we're going to send you a link to obtain them. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I'm just encouraging you so much. That's one of the common delays that we find when trying to finalize offer letters. We have to have all the tax information and all the documents we're asking you to give you the real deal final offer letter. So I would encourage all of you to, if you've not done the FAFSA, do one, 21-22. If you've done it and not added Mount St. Mary's to the FAFSA, add us 001243 and respond to any email and request that we are asking you to submit to our office. It'll help us help you with the final award offer so you can make your plans around those. So if there are any questions, I'm trying to do two things, look at the chat and talk to you all at the same time. Are there any questions? I tried to make it as succinct as I could because I got started a little bit late, but if you think of any questions, let me say this, after today, just email us at financialaid, one word, at msmu.edu, and someone will be certain to reply to your questions. I thank you for your time. Patricia is back at you.
Thank you, Leroy. So if no one has any questions about financial aid, we'll go ahead and continue with academic advising. We have the director, Jamie Wood, here with us to talk more about that. Go ahead, Jamie. Thank you for being here.
Hi, can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure. All right, great. Welcome everyone. I'm really excited to be with you today, and I have a little presentation. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see it. All right, so academic advisement, what is that? And what does that look like for you? So these are pictures taken from the Mount. So we have a gorgeous campus up at Chelan and Doheny, both campuses. But what is academic advisement? 1 second, I have got to cough. It always happens when you're doing a presentation. All right, so academic advisement. So what we're going to talk about today is what is academic advisement at the Mount? What exactly is your degree? And what does that look like? And then your next steps moving forward. So if you have questions, I'm going to have time for questions at the end, but if you want to put them in the chat box, please feel free to do so. All right. What exactly is academic advisement? So you might be familiar with counselors at your high schools. An academic advisor is someone who's assigned to you based on your major. So if you're pre-nursing or undeclared, you work with the Academic Advisement Center, which I am over. But all other majors actually work directly with the different majors. So if you're sociology major, you work with sociology. If you're actually in the nursing program, you work with nursing. If you're in music, you work with music. So your advisor really is your point person for your academic information. So they assist with your educational pathway, and they monitor things, your progress towards graduation. They interpret and explain information to you. So they are such a good resource for you. And every semester you're going to meet with your advisor. They actually, the big thing is they will remove your academic hold. So you'll have a hold that is put on your student account that prevents you from registering until you've met with your academic advisor. So what does academic advising mean right now for you? Well, so sometime over the next few months, you're going to meet one-on-one with your academic advisor, either during Admit Students Week or orientation or sometime in the summer. I would recommend that if you're going to tuition deposit soon, you go ahead and meet with your advisor during Admitted Students Week so that you'll have that done and you can go ahead and register. During that first appointment with your advisor, you're going to focus on the things that you need, course registration for next year. So you're going to look at all the classes you need to take next year and talk about your degree and your life plans and your career plans. And then also you're going to talk about what your degree looks like at the Mount. Every semester you meet with your advisor, and it's called advisement period. And the fall advisement period is October 11th through 29th. And the spring advisement period is February 28th through 25th. So basically, you're going to meet with your advisor on a one-on-one Zoom sometime over the next few months. And then you'll meet again with your advisor in the fall and again with your advisor in the spring. How do you prepare? So just thinking about how do you prepare for that appointment? You will get an email from me with an invitation to meet with your advisor, and you'll take your placement exams. So we do placement exams for English, math, and if you have proficiency in a second language. And you take those exams to know which classes are your first level classes at the Mount, or you may be able to place out of a language completely. So you do that, and then you make an appointment to meet with your advisor. And then you think about, what are the things I want to know from this experience of meeting with my advisor? You can ask these questions. These are just some examples, but come up with some of your own. How often am I going to meet with you? What are your expectations for me? What are the classes like in this major? What careers are available in this degree? Are there any student organizations or activities I should get involved in? So those are a few things that I thought of, but you may have other questions you want to ask your advisor. So be thinking about that. After you meet with your advisor will remove your restriction and you'll be able to register for classes. If you have any questions about registering or any issues, you can email advisement@msmu.edu. But we will also be sending you a how-to guide of what that looks like to go through all the steps in student planning for registering. And then follow up. If your advisor gave you some homework to do, then do it, and then send them an email. You know, anytime you're connecting with your advisor, you're making, a connection, someone who may later write a recommendation letter for you, or someone that you're building a rapport with and can help you understand this process here at the Mount. All right, so in thinking about next steps, maybe you have some questions. So academic advisement is also a department, which I'm over, and we want you to know that we are available to help you. We really want to empower and educate. And so there may be questions that you have that are similar to these questions, like, I'm not sure what I want to major in, or where should I go to know what options are available at the Mount? How do I know what I need to do for the rest of my life? What is a minor? Do I need to do that? I know I like helping people. What Mount majors help people? So as you're working with your admissions counselors, they can help you in these first steps towards a major, but you might change your mind, or you may want to explore. A lot of students come in undeclared, or they change their major. 80% of students change their major at least once. So just know that you can come to academic advisement and we can walk with you through the process of exploration, thinking about what a major you might be interested in, or a minor. So what are majors and minors? You may not know. A major is really a fundamental knowledge within a specific field of study. So sociology, nursing, psychology, math, English. It's usually the largest piece of your study. So you're ranging between 40 to 55 units. And it's really setting you up for a profession or a career in that field. At the Mount, we do allow students to double major. So that can look wonderful on a resume. And then what's a minor? A minor is a smaller field of study, something that interests you, helps stand out on your resume, something that maybe just something that is of interest. And it's between 15 and 25 units. So 5 to 8 classes in addition to your major. So what are you going to do at the Mount. You're going to complete all of your requirements, which are made up of, you're going towards a bachelor's degree or a baccalaureate degree. And so just a little bit about what that is made of. It's 124 units, which is made of that major, and then the LACE requirements or general education requirements or core requirements. Those might be familiar terms to you. And first year seminar. So 124 units, which means you need to take 12 to 18 units every semester. One, for financial aid, you need at least 12 units every term, but also just to get done within 4.5 years, 5 years, you need 12 to 18 units. And then you need to pass every class with at least a C. So having that 2.0 minimum requirement. Now, 2.0 is the C average. So there are some classes that you can pass with a C minus, but really graduating with at least a 2.0 GPA. Some majors do require higher GPA than that, nursing being one of those, but really it's getting a C in all your classes. And then some of you may have transfer credit. And what I mean by transfer credit is during high school, you took a class at a community college or another university, you took AP, you took CLEP, you took International Baccalaureate, any of those things. And if you did that, you're probably going to send us your high school transcript, but that's not quite enough. We need the official transcripts from whatever school or organization, AP, CLEP, IB, that you went to. So be sure to send those to us, and that can really make a difference on the classes that you take in the Mount. If you've already taken college classes, we don't want you to have to repeat those for sure. All right, so what are your next steps here? Your next steps are go ahead and tuition deposit. That sort of sets everything else in motion. You're going to meet with your academic advisor, so you will get communications from me, Jamie Wood, in advisement about taking your placement exam and meeting with your advisor. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll, once you tuition deposit, you also have access to your MSMU email. So that is important to start answering that email. We'll be sending information to you there. We'd like for you to attend the orientation ASD events that are coming up. Enroll in Summer Pathways. You might not know about this, but it's a program where we offer some classes during the summer to incoming students. You're going to hear more about that, but that might allow you to take a little less units in the fall, or take a class that sort of helps you establish math or English, or get you a little ahead in math and English. And then we are starting in the fall something called Living Learning Communities. So if you're interested in living on campus with a group of people and taking some classes, Voice in Action is one of the Living Learning Communities, and the other is Global Village. So if you're interested in Global Village, it means you're interested in international business or really working in a global environment, and you want to live with a group of people who are also interested in that and take some classes together about the global environment. So those are things that you're going to hear more about as we go along. So those are the next steps. If you are interested in connecting, or you don't know where to go next, you're welcome to connect with advisement at msmu.edu or give us a phone call. Your admissions counselor will help you through the process. So they are your contact, but once you tuition deposit and start meeting with your advisor, they become your contact as well. So are there any questions from anyone? Anything that I can answer or clarify?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Hi, Miss Jamie Wood. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late, but I made it.
I'm so glad you did.
So I want to study music therapy. Would I need to do both psychology and music major? Would I
Yeah,
be?
so we don't have a straight music therapy, but if you're, I think that would be a wonderful combination. Do the music and then also the psychology, and there is enough space, so you could major in one music, or double major in one, or I mean double major, or you could do like a major in one and a minor in another.
Okay.
So I think that probably the music department, she would know the very best about that. But I'm sure someone in the psychology department, you know, you need the theories on what psychology, you know, what to help people. So I would say if I were you, I would talk to both departments and maybe meet with both majors to just sort of determine what your major will be. We also have something called an individually designed major, but it shows up on your transcript as an individually designed major, but it means you're working with two different departments and you're sort of designing your own major in conjunction with them. So that might be something that they'd be amenable to as well. So
Who is the director of the psychology? Do you know?
So I think probably the best person to talk with would be Dr. Pam Gist. She would be great. She's the chair of the department and she could help you think about
PAME or PAN?
Gist, Dr. Pam Gist. And she'd be, I know she'd be happy to chat about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If we do not say I take one class and I don't get a passing grade, would I be on probation or kicked out?
So it's not quite that way. So it really is an effort in that maybe you're doing not well in everything, right? So probation is that you have lower than a 2.0, and usually the students can go on probation for one semester. So it's really not one class that you have to worry about. It's trying to do well in all of your classes. If you have one class that just doesn't go well, which all of us have done, then you retake it. And that happens every semester. Everybody, you know, life stuff happens, but it's really when someone's struggling in every class and can't maintain that C average. Does that make sense? Does that clarify it? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, Laura.
I have another one, sorry.
Sure.
When you said the placement test, is that for, what is that for? Is that for English and math, or is that?
That's for English and math. We use something called AccuPlacer for English and math. And it really just determines the first class that you take at the Mount in English and math. It doesn't give you credit. However, our language exam allows you, if you're proficient in a language, to actually waive 8 units of language, 4 to 8 units, depending on where you place. So if you speak Spanish or Japanese, I think we have a whole list, and you can read that information on our page. But if you are proficient in a second language, I would definitely recommend taking the placement exam. We don't require the language placement exam, but it can save you some units.
I've completed that. Do I still need to take the exam? I'm a transfer.
Oh, you're a transfer student and have already taken it. No, if you're a transfer student, then those transfer units will transfer in for those courses. Yeah. We're very transfer friendly. We take up to 70 units of transfer coursework from another college or university, lower division, and so that's something we'll evaluate and give you a transfer credit evaluation of your units.
Okay, I had another question and I forgot.
Okay.
I should have written it down. It'll come to me and then I'll get back.
All right. Well, if you have other questions you want to ask, you're welcome to send me an email at jwood at msmu.edu. I'll put that in the chat box.
Thank you, Ms. Wood.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I have a question.
All right.
It's Tatiana.
Hi, Tatiana.
Hi. So I'm a psychology major, and since you mentioned like English, math, do we just have to would we strictly focus on psychology classes or?
So the general education, which we call LACE, liberal arts core education, it requires all of our students to have some general education, and that includes English, math, critical thinking, language, and then our central core, which it has to do with our spirit of the founders, community, global awareness and understanding, and women and gender, and then 2 upper division integrative scholarship classes. And so all colleges really have something called the core or general studies or general education, and ours are those courses. So you get some choice, especially with the central core and integrative scholarship, but everyone has to take English, math, and critical thinking.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Laura.
I wrote it down. So I am getting my AA in next January. Does my tuition change even though I have that? Well, I will hopefully get that degree.
So are you going to get the IGETC or the CSU Brett? Are you graduating with from one of the community colleges in California? Yeah.
Yes.
So are you graduating and getting the general education?
Both.
Okay. So it does not change the cost, but it could change the courses. So if you are actually graduating with that, I get the IGETC or the CSU general education, then that's something you should definitely put on your application and also tell your counselor, because that could change the number of courses. We certify as a block the general education from either the Cal States or the USCs. So are you planning to attend them out in the fall or the spring next year?
Next fall, not this fall, 2022.
Okay. Just make sure when you apply that you let us know that you're finishing up the general education there. And it has to be on your transcript, or you have to have the certification that you have achieved that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wood.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Okay.
So I'm getting my AST hopefully either, depending on if I can get one class, either this spring semester, if not fall semester. So once I get that, will my credits work towards my BA? Because I've already attended them up before. So I have a lot of classes already, but it's been years, so I'm going back. So will those?
Yeah, so it really kind of changes if you are going to have an AST and then you come to the Mount. If you came an earlier year, like our general education changed in 2018. So I'm not sure without looking directly at your transfer. But either way, the courses are going to transfer, but I don't know whether you transferring in an AST, the associate degree for transfer, or going course to course would be a better option for you. I'm just not sure.
Okay.
But probably the AST is good, because get that finished and then go ahead and transfer that in, because we will honor it.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else? I just don't want to give anybody not the option to chat.
I just had a quick question.
Oh, I think I saw Lorena first. So go ahead, Lorena.
Hi, it's actually Lorene. I know a lot of people say Lorena. Hello, I have 3 questions. One is in regards to the language. I'm transferring from Los Angeles Pierce College, but I'm taking Latin at Pasadena. Would that be a transferable language?
I don't think Latin transfers. It has to be a spoken language.
Okay.
If you have any other language, you could take the placement exam. Now, those courses will transfer in for sure, but it won't transfer in for the spoken language requirement.
Okay. And then my other question is, I have over 100 units. I've done the UCLA IGETC or UC IGETC and the CSU Breadth. So when I sit down with an advisor and they decide what transfers, and I have these extra classes, are they going to first take obviously my GE, but after that, will they take the classes that transfer towards my major?
Yes, for sure. For sure. For sure. The person looks at how, like, based on what your major is, that's what we transfer in first.
Okay.
And so we take up to 70 units. So if you have any upper division, if everything was lower division, then it will take up to 70 units.
Okay. And looking at the major, I want to actually major in history, and looking at it, some of the classes I've taken are equivalent to the upper division classes offered.
So that that may be something the department chair, when you work with them, will allow a course to come in, but you'll still have to meet the upper division requirements. Does that make sense? So
that makes sense.
You may not have to repeat that course, but you may have to take something else to meet the requirements for the department. So
okay, and one last question. As far as declaring a second major or minor, how soon after you enroll do you get to do that?
You can do that as immediately if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Do we need to go? So sorry.
Yes, so for the sake of time, but thank you, Jamie. That was so helpful, all that information. And you did add your email to the chat. So anyone who has more questions or anything like that can reach out to Jamie, jwood@msmu.edu. We're going to go ahead and move on to the student panel. We do have a few students here, current students, who can talk about their experience at the Mount, Evelyn, Natalie, and Victoriana. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves again, maybe talk about the major that you're in and what year you are. Thank you.
I can go first. So my name is Evelyn. Again, I am majoring in psychology and I am in my 4th year.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I am a 3rd year business marketing student and I'll be graduating this fall.
Hi, my name is Victoriana Camacho, and I am a transfer student, 2nd year, and my major is sociology with the minor in social work.
Before we go into the questions, we just wanted to give you all an opportunity to introduce yourselves to our current students. So if you could all call out in the order that I see you all on my screen, but if you can like unmic yourself, maybe show your camera for like just a brief introduction and share your name, the major you're planning on pursuing, and what school, community college you're attending or have attended. If we can start with Laura.
Can you hear me? Oh, you okay. Hi, my name is Laura Alexandra Barajas. I go to Irvine Valley College. I would like to study music therapy. What else was I supposed to say?
You covered all of them.
Okay.
Thank you. Lorraine.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Milligan. I attend Pierce College. And as far as a major goes, my main major is history, but I'm also looking to major in American Studies.
Lynette. I think you're on mute.
Thank you. I always do that. My name is Lynette. I am currently at LACC. I was at Mount St. Mary's for a couple of years, and now I'm trying to go back for my, I guess, I'm trying to take as many classes now so I can transfer back for my senior year. And I am debating whether to go into just education or major in liberal arts.
Thank you. Margaret.
My name's Margaret, and I will be transferring from College of the Canyons, and I pursue to major in psychology.
Tatiana.
Hi, my name is Tatiana. I currently go to Glendale Community College and my major is psychology, and I'm trying to get into like a PA program.
And Leslie.
Hi, my name is Leslie Ibarra. I'm currently at East LA College and I want to major in psychology.
Is that everyone? Yes? Okay. Thank you. It's really nice to meet you all and see all your faces. So we're going to go ahead and start. We'll ask, I guess, each of you one question for the sake of time. Let's see. Natalie, why did you pick a women's college? Can you talk a little bit about that and your experience?
Yeah, so when I was looking for prospective colleges, it was never my intention to specifically find Owens College. In fact, I applied to Mount St. Mary's University without ever visiting the school. I just knew it had the best resources and faculty. So by the time I got accepted, I drove down to LA to see what it would be like, and Mount St. Mary's University won me over because of the environment. I knew the small campus would play a big role in my academic success, and all the women here are so determined and hardworking. I wanted to be around like-minded people, and that's why I chose the Mount.
Thank you. And then our second question, what is one way the Mount exceeded your expectations? And this one's for Victoriana.
Hi. So one way it exceeded my expectation. So I had my friend that graduated from here, and people I have met so far have told me that there is so much support and resources from professors to staff to the faculty, and I can really see it myself. Like for example, when I had tested positive for COVID during finals, my professors were very understanding, and they would reach out and check up on me, and they didn't have to, but they did, and that shows that they care about their students and their well-being, and they were very accommodating, and would tell me that they would do anything to make sure that this semester ends well for me, which I really appreciated, especially during that time with being really stressful with finals, but also like having to go through it through COVID. But yeah, there is a lot of support in here for all their students.
Thank you, Victoriana. And for Evelyn, what is one thing you are excited to do when it's safe to come back to campus?
There are a lot of things, honestly. But I think the one thing I'm excited to do is visit the Shalon campus and look at all the views. Because it is so beautiful up there. So I always enjoy looking out over the overlooks, looking at Catalina Islands, the ocean. And there's a certain spot by the hiking trail behind the fitness center that has a view of everything. So that's my favorite spot on campus, and I always look forward to going to that spot every chance I get. So when we do get the opportunity to go back on campus, that's probably the first place I would go to.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions for any of the students? You guys can ask in the chat or unmute yourself.
I have a question for Victoriana. As a transfer student, why did you pick Mount St. Mary's?
Yes, so I picked Mount St. Mary's. So when I found out my school was shutting down this last year, I started looking into colleges that would fit my needs. Having like a learning disability and having different factors, the school was very accommodating, and I knew I was going to receive that one-on-one attention and help that I needed because of some factors that I have going on, but that I knew that I was going to get the resources and attention from the school. And yeah.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you don't have any questions now, oh, but does someone have a question?
Yes, I do. For Evelyn, did you join any, like, is there like a psych club?
Yes, there is a psych club. I'm actually part of that club. Basically, it's just a club where all students who are psych majors or who are interested in psychology, most of the students are from that interest group. So basically, what we focus on when we are gathered in the club is we have meetings about possible career paths for psychology students, or if you're interested in psychology in general. And we have meetings where we watch movies together based on like psychology. So it might be horror movies, it might be a TV show like You, the TV show. So we gather around just to have fun and see what it's like to be around other psychology students and others who are interested in the psychology field. So I think it's one of my favorite clubs because I have a lot in common with the students there, especially since we're all focused on psychology. So you really do meet a lot of people in any club that you join. And the psychology club is just one of the clubs that I met a lot of my friends in. And I got to meet a lot of new people. And I was able to get close with the advisor, who's also a psychology professor at Mount St. Mary's University. So you really do get close to the advisor as well. And it's always fun to learn new things in the club. You learn a lot. And it's a great opportunity for you to get involved as well.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem.
And I just wanted to add that Victoriana is actually spearheading a transfer club. So that's something that you guys can look forward to, when you decide to apply and, become students, a space where you're able to meet other transfer students. So, Victoria, I don't know if you want to add maybe your contact info to discuss some, I don't know, the transfer club and stuff in the chat. Any other questions before we move on to the very last thing?
I was going to add, if you guys don't have any questions or can't think of any right now, our Athenian applicant days, we actually have current Athenians there with us in a room. So after your interview, you're able to go meet with them and talk to them about their student experiences and any student resources that are available on campus.
Would like for us, because it seems like, you guys had a lot of questions about other things. If you would like maybe like a Zoom social that we can host for you where you're able to meet with other students who are interested and current students, we can also host an event like that. So let us know, give us some feedback if you would like that in the chat.
Ms. Hernandez, can you say that again one time? Sorry.
If you wanted us to host something like this where we're able to chat more with our current students, like a social event, let us know in the chat and we can host something like this for you.
Thank you.
So before we conclude, we did want to do a quick kind of trivia thing. So how we'll run this is we'll ask the question and you all will type in the chat the answer. That way we see it's time stamped and no one's speaking over someone else or like the time it took to unmute yourself. So all participants, so everybody who types something in the chat will receive like some form of prize, but the individual with the most correct answers and like the earliest answers will be receiving a Mount sweater or like hoodie. So if you're all ready, if you can go ahead and put like one of like the reaction buttons just so I know. And then, okay.
What do I? Oh.
Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and ask you all the questions. So give me 1 second. So the first question is, what are the transfer requirements?
And to give you a hint, there's two.
It looks like Tatiana got it.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Yeah, so our minimum transfer requirements are a 2.4 GPA and at least 24 transferable units. As Precious mentioned during the presentation, if you have less than 24 units but would still like to transfer, you can always submit your high school transcripts. So our next question, and this was shared during the tour, is what is one of the events that happens at the circle?
Was I there? I don't think so.
And yes, so Margaret got it correct. It is the lighting of the circle. And we'll count the Christmas lighting as a close second because it is kind of themed towards the holidays since it's at the end of the first semester.
farmer's market is correct too.
Yes. And then our second to last question is, what is our fall priority deadline? Yes, Lorraine. So our fall priority deadline is March 15th. So I know some of you have started your application. For those of you who haven't, you can access our application at msmu.edu. And then give me a quick moment just so I can add up who's in the lead and see if we. So I guess this tiebreaker question will be between Tatiana, Lorraine, and Margaret. So it is if you can name 3 student services that the Mount provides.
This is for the hoodie or the crew neck sweater.
Where did she go?
Tatiana.
You are our hoodie recipient. Yes. So congratulations.
Woo!
Everybody who participated will still get a prize. So you should see that. Just keep a lookout in the mail. You'll all also be receiving some information that kind of recaps our open house event. So yeah, thank you all for coming. And if you have any final questions, feel free to kind of use this time to ask us.
Thank you everyone for joining. You can reach out to any of us if any other questions come up later on or anything like that. We're here to help you with the application process and anything you need. So please reach out. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.